Alrighty, I'm restarting. The other video stopped, but what I was beginning to explain, first of all, there are multiple helicopters over here. There's two specifically, and I want to first be clear, it's demonic on more than one level. The fact that you are using helicopters to stalk a person and you're a police department, that's entirely criminal. It's not just the fact that they're criminals and not a legitimate police department. That stalking conduct in and of itself is demonic, and it's also occurring in a demonic environment. And so this is what I was pointing out before the video cut out. This is impossible light. This is a wall of light. It's on the face of the museum. There is no light in on this yard space, okay? And even if there were, light with the downward trajectory is not going to shoot horizontally to cover the face of this museum. It's impossible light activity. That is not the explanation. This sort of light is not going to cover the face of the museum. And also you're looking at what is the enlarged size of these columns. That's what those shadows, that's engineered light. This is demonic. They're stalking in the demonic environment. They are pacing around with multiple helicopters. That is their evidence of demon possession. In addition to that, the entity was surrounding me at that distance, at that elevation, while they are swarming around with that which I would not be able to hear. The reason why it's brought to my attention is because the entity is surrounding me with impossible audible activity, thus ongoing murmur of helicopters surrounding me as though they are nearby, but they're not. They're way over there. The entity is sounding, though. This is what that demonic environment, that's called amplified audible activity. That which is impossible to hear. They're surrounding me with the sound of helicopter over here. So I look up, I'm like, there's no helicopter. Oh, they're way over there. Impossible audible activity, multiple helicopters, which is relevant positioning. In directed light. I'm being molested with directed light. Impossible light activity, impossible audible activity. Those helicopters are not going to be heard. The entity, this is demonic. They are surrounding me over here with the sound of ongoing helicopters murmuring around me as though they're flying right here, and they're not. They're way over there. Okay. Nonetheless, this is the Ontario Police Department. By they, that is the Ontario Police Department stalking, showing the world what is the evidence that will get any police department disbanded, showing what is the unstable mindset that they maintain, stalking with the people of the state, engaging in demonic behavior, stalking in the path with light. These are demons. These are demons. That's why when I document third parties stalking with the police, they go to federal prison. That's the formula. And I have a pool of defendants who will be sitting in federal prison and sitting in mental institutions. This is unstable conduct. That instability demonstrated by a police department, that's grounds of federal prison. That's grounds of what is going to a venue that is right now corrupt, but that can be remedied. That's what this documentation, that's what this exposure is serving to remedy this public corruption. But the Ontario Police Department and the people of the state, the demons that are stalking me together, stalking American citizens together for no legitimate purpose, they're going to sit in mental institutions such as Patton State Hospital, because that's where they belong. That's entirely demented. They are obsessively stalking, and they're not going anywhere. They are, just like you saw, they're just flying around in circles. They're doing it in directed light, and they're concentrating the audible activity of that which I would not be able to audibly perceive. They're surrounding me with the sound of helicopter activity over here. All right. And then I'm looking around. Where is the helicopter? I don't see it. Oh, they're over there, pacing around in relevant position, acting with the people of the state, surrounding in alignment with me with light. That's very precise positioning. These are demons, okay? This is out of the pit of hell. This is the ongoing evidence serving for where group stalkers belong. Group stalkers belong in federal prison. Group stalkers belong in what are mental institutions. And that's exactly what the prosecution for federal group stalking and monitoring shall result in, okay? This is P.O.C. at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. This is ongoing state surveillance and terrorism. An entire entity knows exactly where I'm at. That's why you have this specific environment that's absolutely impossible, inexplicable light. All right, not normal light. That's not going to result from an ordinary light lamp hanging, light shooting horizontally, creating the shot. None of that's impossible light activity. Where the entity is stalking in that environment, evidence of demon possession, amplified audible activity, that which you cannot ordinarily audibly perceive, that is evidence of demon possession. Stalking in that environment is the evidence of demon possession. The people of the state, you're not looking at traffic. These are demons that are pacing. This is surveillance. This is group stalking. All right, and this is P.O.C. This is an entity that is stalking with the people, with the Ontario Police Department, the entity that engages in what is theft of property, engage in assault and battery, engage in what is ongoing harassment while they're group stalking with the police, and they do so with impunity. All right, this is the POC. It is currently, by the way, 9:14 p.m. at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts.